What if I told you Shakira's greatest achievement isn't a song, not a Grammy, not a sold-out stadium, not even becoming one of the most recognizable artists on earth? Long before the world knew her name, Shakira saw something as a child that she never forgot. And years later, when fame finally gave her power, she made a decision that would change the lives of thousands of children. Stay until the end, because the real reason Shakira began building schools started long before the awards, the tours, and the global spotlight. And once you hear it, you may see her legacy very differently. Shakira grew up in Barranquilla, Colombia. She loved music early. She wrote songs. She dreamed big, but her childhood wasn't lived inside the glamorous world she would eventually enter. She also saw poverty around her, children without the opportunities she had, families struggling simply to move forward, and one experience left a particularly deep mark. As a young girl, she witnessed children living in extremely difficult conditions. It stayed with her. Years later, the world would celebrate her voice, but Shakira would remember the children who had almost no voice at all, and that memory would eventually become a mission. Then everything changed. Albums became international hits, concert halls became stadiums, Spanish-language success became global superstardom. Shakira had reached a level very few artists ever experience. Money, influence, access, a platform capable of reaching millions. At that point, she could have focused entirely on becoming even bigger. More albums, more tours, more fame. Instead, she began asking a different question. What could all of this success actually do? That question led her back to Colombia, back to the children she had never forgotten, and towards something very different from a recording studio. Shakira founded the Pies Descalzos Foundation, the Barefoot Foundation, with a mission centered on education, not simply giving children school supplies. Building environments where children could learn, eat, feel safe, and imagine futures that poverty had made difficult to see. Schools were developed in vulnerable communities across Colombia. Education became the center. But the philosophy went much further, because a child cannot concentrate on mathematics while hungry. A child cannot dream about university if surviving today consumes all their energy. So the work also focused on nutrition, community support, and creating stronger environments around students. For Shakira, education wasn't charity, it was a way out. Celebrities can donate money. Shakira wanted something more lasting. A concert ends, a trophy gathers dust. A hit song eventually leaves the charts. But education can stay inside someone for the rest of their life. One student learns. That student changes a family. That family changes a community. And suddenly one classroom becomes something much bigger. That's why Shakira continued speaking about education on international stages. She worked with organizations including UNICEF and used meetings with global leaders to push early childhood development and access to learning higher on the agenda. The pop star people expected to talk about music kept talking about children. And that tells us something important, because fame had become useful to her only when she could point it somewhere else. Remember the promise from the beginning? Why did Shakira build schools? The answer begins with something simple. She remembered. She remembered what she had seen as a child. She remembered that talent means very little if opportunity never reaches you. And when her own opportunity became enormous, she decided to create opportunities for others. That may be Shakira's real legacy. Not simply how many people danced to her music, but how many children were given a better chance because she refused to forget where she came from. Years from now, another artist may break her records. Another song may dominate the world. But somewhere in Colombia, a student will walk into a classroom, open a book, learn something new, and imagine a future that once seemed impossible. There are no stadium lights around that moment, no screaming crowds, no award waiting at the end, but perhaps that is exactly what makes it her greatest achievement. If stories like this are why you're here, stay with us. On See Beyond the Spotlight, we uncover the hidden human side of the people the world thinks it already knows. And now tell us, who should we uncover next? Leave their name in the comments. Your suggestion could become our next documentary. Come back for the next story, because sometimes the greatest thing a famous person ever does happens far away from the spotlight. Every legend has a story. We uncover the one the world rarely sees.